she's smiling, she's strong, she's got it all together, or so it seems. But behind that composed face is a woman silently screaming, carrying the weight of expectations no one ever talks about. The truth is, most men fall in love with her light and never notice her shadows. But if you really want to touch her soul, you have to see what she hides when no one's watching. Because the strongest women are often the ones who feel the most alone, trying to be everything for everyone, while secretly wondering if anyone will ever be enough for her. You want to understand women? Then forget everything the movies taught you. Forget the games, the pickup lines, the fake confidence. Real connection with a woman requires something deeper. It requires insight, awareness, and emotional intelligence. Today, I'm going to tell you 10 things most men don't know, not because women are trying to hide them, but because society never taught men to look for them. First hidden weakness, emotional inconsistency. Most women experience emotional ups and downs they don't always talk about, not because they're unstable, but because they've been conditioned to manage everyone else's emotions before their own. So if she suddenly withdraws, it doesn't always mean she's uninterested. Sometimes she just wants to be understood without having to explain herself. Second, her deep need for safety. I'm not talking about locking the doors at night. I'm talking about emotional safety. The ability to express, to cry, to vent, to be seen, without judgment. A woman might laugh at your jokes and be strong in public, but inside, she's scanning every interaction for one thing. Can I trust this man with my heart? Number 3, comparison anxiety. Women, even the most confident ones, compare themselves constantly to other women, to filtered images, to past versions of themselves. And when a man makes her feel like she's not measuring up, even unintentionally, it hits her harder than you think. She might not say it, but it stings. 4, the pressure to be everything. Be pretty but not vain, strong but not intimidating, sexual but not too sexual, smart but not bossy. That balancing act is exhausting, and sometimes she just wants you to say, "You don't have to be perfect with me, you're enough." 5th, unhealed trauma. Many women carry invisible wounds from childhood, past relationships, even from cultural expectations. Some of those wounds make her pull away when you get close. Some make her test your love. It's not manipulation, it's protection. 6, people pleasing. She's been trained to make everyone else comfortable. So even when she's hurt, she might smile. Even when she's angry, she might say, "It's okay." If a woman trusts you enough to say, "I'm not okay," listen. That's vulnerability. That's a gift. 7, overthinking. Her mind is a storm of details. The tone of your last message, the meaning behind your silence, the shift in your energy. Not because she's crazy, because she's emotionally wired to notice patterns. And when a pattern feels off, she worries. 8, her desire to feel chosen, not just loved, but prioritized. She doesn't want to be the afterthought. She wants to feel like the woman you chose, not because she was there, but because she was special. So don't just say you love her, show her she matters. 9, her fear of vulnerability being used against her. If she's ever opened up and had her truth thrown back at her, even once, she won't forget. So, when she shares her insecurities, don't joke. Don't weaponize, just hold space. And finally, number 10, her own self-doubt. Even the strongest woman battles inner voices telling her she's too much or not enough. Sometimes the most powerful thing a man can say is, "I see you, I hear you, and I believe in you." Because at the end of the day, what most women crave isn't a man who has it all figured out. It's a man who's willing to understand, who's patient enough to learn, who doesn't try to fix her but holds her, encourages her, challenges her with kindness. Most women experience emotional ups and downs they don't always talk about, not because they're unstable, but because they've learned to suppress parts of themselves to survive. Society often teaches women to manage their feelings quietly, to be agreeable, to not inconvenience anyone with their emotional needs. So what happens is, even when something is bothering her, she might not bring it up. She might smile, nod, keep the peace, and pretend like everything is fine. But underneath that calm exterior, there could be a storm of unspoken thoughts and feelings she's trying to process alone. And this isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about survival. It's about not being called too emotional, too needy, or too much again. That label cuts deeper than men realize. So when she suddenly becomes distant, when her texts get shorter or her tone changes ever so slightly, it's often not because she doesn't care. It's because she's feeling things she doesn't yet know how to express, or she's afraid of being misunderstood. There's also a level of emotional layering that men rarely see. She could be angry about something small, but not because of that one moment. It could be the weight of several other things she's carried for days, weeks, or even years. That eye roll you got when you forgot something she mentioned, it's not just about what you forgot, it's about the pattern she feels is repeating. It's about the buildup, and because women are generally more emotionally aware and socially conditioned to pick up on small cues, they can internalize things without fully realizing how much it's affecting them. A slight shift in your attention, a change in tone, or even prolonged silence can speak volumes in her mind. Not because she's trying to be overly sensitive, but because she's wired to analyze, anticipate, and adapt. That emotional labor is constant. It's happening even when she's smiling at you. Another layer to her emotional inconsistency is hormonal influence. Most women experience monthly hormonal fluctuations that affect mood, energy, and sensitivity levels. This doesn't mean she's irrational or incapable of logic. It just means her body is literally changing how she feels day to day. And she's still expected to show up at work, be a good partner, look good, stay calm, and function like nothing is happening. That kind of pressure takes a toll. Some days she might feel incredibly confident and affectionate, and others she may just need space to breathe and reconnect with herself. It's not about pushing you away, it's about protecting her own peace. There's also the issue of emotional suppression. Many women have learned to shrink their needs in relationships to keep the man around. Maybe she was once told she was too emotional or too sensitive, and now she overcompensates by pretending she doesn't need as much as she really does. She may not tell you when something hurts, when she feels dismissed, or when she's longing for reassurance. She might swallow it, telling herself it's not a big deal, even though it feels like a very big deal. And the more she does this, the more she disconnects from her own truth. That emotional inconsistency isn't because she doesn't know what she wants, it's often because she's been taught to silence her wants, to second guess her feelings, to avoid coming off as too needy. What makes all of this more complicated is that women are also incredibly intuitive. They can feel your energy shift even if you haven't said a word. They notice when you become emotionally unavailable or distracted, and instead of confronting you directly, because again, they're avoiding being labeled, they might retreat, shut down, or start doubting themselves. That creates a loop where both people become distant without really knowing why. When it comes to a woman's need for safety, it's deeper than most people understand. It's not just about locks on doors or walking her to her car at night. It's about emotional safety, mental safety, spiritual safety. A woman wants to feel like she can be herself without fear of being judged, rejected, or shamed. She wants to know that if she shows you her softness, her doubts, her fears, you won't use them against her later. She wants to believe that you're not just there for her when she's smiling, dressed up, and in a good mood, but also when she's tired, overwhelmed, or vulnerable. Safety to a woman means that you don't mock her feelings, minimize her opinions, or make her question her worth. It means that when she speaks, you actually listen, not just with your ears, but with presence, with attention, with respect. There's an emotional armor many women wear, and they wear it well. They've learned to stay guarded because, in the past, opening up only led to disappointment. Maybe she trusted someone who told her, "I'll never hurt you," and they did. Maybe she finally cried in front of someone only to be told she was being dramatic. So now she hesitates. She scans for signs. She watches how you react when she's not at her best. That's how she determines if she's safe with you. Not just physically, but emotionally. Can she talk to you about something that matters without being shut down or dismissed? Can she tell you something sensitive and not have it thrown back at her in an argument? That's the kind of safety that builds deep trust, and without it, she may stay physically close but emotionally far. A woman also feels unsafe when there's emotional inconsistency. If one day you're loving and warm,